Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is July 31st, 2025, and Hansi Flick has addressed the whole captaincy issue in regards to Mark Ter Stegen. Also, Sevilla are still profiting from the signing of Jules Kounde. And finally, Saudi Arabia making a multi-million-dollar offer to Ferran Torres. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Boo, and as you can see, currently I'm not home. I was supposed to be in Vegas today visiting my family. I missed my flight, got put on another flight. That one had a connection to Detroit. That flight was delayed, made it to Detroit, but missed the connection. Now I'm stuck here tonight because there aren't any flights until tomorrow. So I'm currently in a hotel in the middle of nowhere. I have no idea where I'm at. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, but I could not go to bed without making a news video because, of course, there's a lot of video to cover. I did go live a few moments ago. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure you watch it after this one. But let's begin with this news because, ladies and gentlemen, Hansi Flick, who's currently with the first team, of course, in South Korea in the preseason, only a few hours before the match against FC Seoul, did do a pre-match press conference as usual where he addressed several myriads of topics, including the captaincy issue. But first, let's begin with what Hansi Flick said about what are his goals for the 2025-2026 season. And this is what the German coach had to say. It will be a tough season, but we are approaching it positively. We have improved the quality of the team. That's what we think. But it will be a long season. We look at ourselves and we want to win titles, just like last season. The same goal. We are going to try to win every game as always. So Hansi Flick, still with the same goal as always, wants to win trophies, wants to win every game. But of course, at the same time, recognizing that, well, it will be a long and tough season. Now, Hansi Flick was asked about both Lamine Yamal and Marcus Rashford, and this is what the German coach had to say. We saw it last season. Lamine is an exceptional talent, and he can always decide games. I'm very happy that he's on my team, and of course, he'll play tomorrow. Marcus is a great player. I've been following him for many years since he started his career at United. He has a lot of quality, and we hope he can show it this season with the team, and I hope so too, Hansi Flick. I hope so too. Now, the next thing was in regards to the Ter Stegen captaincy, because as you know, there's been rumors that Barcelona are considering taking away the captaincy from Mark Ter Stegen, and of course, Flick was asked about that, and this is what the German coach had to say. The team will decide the captains, as has always been done. We will decide 2 weeks before the start of the season. So Flick pretty much saying, hey, it's not up to me. It's up to the players. They'll decide whether Ter Stegen stays as a captain or not. And finally, Hansi Flick also talked about Dro, Pedro Fernandez Sarmiento, otherwise known as Dro, because, there's been a lot of talks about him. They say he's the next Iniesta, one of the most promising talents currently in La Masia. He scored a goal on his debut against Vissel Kobe. Hansi Flick saying that he's very, very talented, really good player, very good midfielder, but of course he still needs to improve. Understandably so. He's only 17 years old. And don't worry, there are reports stating that the club have an exact plan on how to develop Dro, because again, he's one of the most promising talents. They're currently in the academy, and there's a lot of hopes and a lot of expectations set on the player. So Barcelona want to take it slow with him. They want to develop him slowly, at his own pace. They don't want to rush him. They don't want to put pressure on him because they understand that they have another revelation on hand, just like Lamine Yamal, Kouarsi, or Marc Bernal when they were still in the academy. Now, speaking of the preseason, there has been complaints by the players in regards to the Barcelona kit. No, it's not in regards to the design. I know I've complained about the design several times before, but it's in regards to the materials that Nike has used in making this kit. Now, as you know, the players are currently in South Korea. Before that, they were in Japan. South Korea and Japan, very, very humid in the players have been sweating like crazy, and the complaints have been that the kit, when it gets wet, with sweat, feel like a rapper, it gets very heavy. So the players are not happy about that. Rafinha, for example, noted that it's not just the problem of sweat and humidity, because Nike also designs the Brazilian kits. And Rafinha says that when he's wearing a Brazilian kit, it's totally fine when it's all wet and sweaty. But for some reason, the material that they use, Nike used for this home kit, it's not the same. And it gets really heavy, and the players are complaining about that. I hope that Nike can address this issue, because believe it or not, that does matter. I mean, it might be a few ounces more of sweat and weight, but that makes a huge difference when you're talking about elite athletes going against elite athletes. Everything matters. Even the 1 gram matters of difference. So let's hope Nike can fix that, because it's absolutely unacceptable. Anyways, on to the next bit of news, because ladies and gentlemen, as you know by now, because I told you in a previous video, Jules Kounde is set to extend his contract. His contract is set to expire in 2027. He's set to extend it until 2030. He, in fact, confirmed it today during his press conference, saying that everything is set and ready. And the news is not the contract renewal, because I had already told you about, but the news is it's been revealed a clause in his contract that Sevilla inserted when Barcelona signed him. Now, Barcelona signed Kounde back in 2022 for 50 million euros from Sevilla. And it looks like one of the variables that Sevilla put into the contract, and of course Barcelona agreed to, was that Sevilla would get 2.5 million euros per season for 5 seasons every time Kounde plays 60% of all the matches of that season. So, each season of those 5 seasons, if Kounde plays 60% of those matches, they get 2.5 million euros. Now, so far, Kounde has met every season. He's been at Barcelona for 3 seasons. Every season he's played at least 60%. So far, Sevilla have made 7.5 million euros, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. They still got 2 more seasons of that. Of course, given how Kounde has been so important, they're expected to make the other 5 million euros. So 12.5 million euros just from Kounde, 6% of the matches at 50 million. So that brings up his total to 62.5 million euros for the signing. And of course, there's other variables. We'll see how much this signing will end up costing. Now, of course, I'm not saying that it's not worth it. I think Kounde right now is one of the best right backs in Europe, so definitely worth it. But just wanted to bring up this new revelation about his contract that is still making money off Kounde even 3 seasons after Barcelona signed him. Now, speaking of making money, ladies and gentlemen, Saudi Arabia have made an incredibly lucrative offer for Ferran Torres. Now, as you know, Saudi Arabia are now looking to sign players from all different ages. They realize that just signing retired players is not it. Now they're looking to sign academy players, young players, players in their prime, players in their early 20s. And while they have set their sights on Ferran Torres, they're willing to offer Barcelona whatever they ask for, of course, as long as it's reasonable. You know, Barcelona say, we want 150 Ferran. Nobody's paying that for Ferran, but they're willing to make a decent for Barcelona for Ferran Torres. But of course, first they have to convince the player. It's reported that Saudi have a 50 million euro contract for 3 years. So that's 20 million euros per season for Ferran Torres that the Saudis are currently offering him. Crazy amount for a player that he'll never see that money in any European club. Now, of course, Ferran Torres is not looking to leave, definitely not Saudi Arabia. So it doesn't matter how much Saudi leaves him, because Ferran Torres wants to stay at Barcelona. But I mean, 60 million euros for 3 years, that's a lot of money. Plus, with the rise of Rooney Bargi, everybody's saying he's really impressing. Maybe Ferran will end up without minutes. So maybe it is something he should consider. But of course, he's not considering that. Ferran looking to leave. Now, another player that Saudi Arabia are still insisting on, of course, this is not new, but Saudi have approached them once again, is Robert Lewandowski. As you know, Saudi have been insisting on signing Lewandowski. They tried early summer, last one to transfer last summer. They've been really insisting, but now they've approached him again, and now they're saying they're willing to offer Lewandowski 100 million euros per season. A lot of money But of course, just like Ferran Torres, Lewandowski not looking to leave Barcelona. Anyways, that is all the news. I did go live a few moments ago. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure to check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always,